Hello everyone, my name is JP Althizer. We're going to go over some systems implementation plans today for Personal Trainer Incorporated. With me I have James England, who's going to help us out with the management aspect of it, also some data flows and financial information. Also, I have Cindy Duddy, who's going to help us out with some financial information and data flows for the customer aspect of it. So here's what we're going to go over today. We're going to go over some hardware stuff. We're going to have several servers installed. There's going to be an accounting server and a point of sale server, which both are going to be run by QuickBooks, and they are going to be actually on the same server. We're also going to have a security server and a data log server, which we'll get into that later. Those are also going to be on the same server. And we're also going to have a backup server that's going to back up all of our data and make sure it's safe and secure. So our software we're going to use is QuickBooks, also the QuickBooks point of sale. We're going to install Trilogy door system with a front door swipe card entry, and we're going to use a Swan 12 camera security system. We're going to use multiples of those because we want to get all aspects of the building, front door, stuff like that. The data we're going to go over as far as customer information goes, we're going to go over email, phone, address, credit card info, and other stuff that's going to help us get some analytical data so we can target more sales and marketing, trying to increase targeted revenue. And also we have some end user systems requests. As I mentioned before, analytical data, trending data, management wants to see this so we can tailor business services and promotions to the customer. We're also going to go over profitability data on aspects of their gym, wellness logs, fitness progress. We're going to have a social networking blitz that's going to help us target new customers in the area. We're going to use Facebook and Twitter. We're going to try and promote the business daily and reach out to new customers every day. Email's also tied into that. So is the fitness blogs and our scannable ID card. We will get into that here.
Hello, my name is James, and I will be walking you through a few interactions between management and our new system. I will describe how we worked to meet your primary concerns and how the new system will give you the tools you need to be a more effective and streamlined team. First, I'd like to talk about financial reporting. Our research determined that you are not getting financial information from your locations with any great frequency, and with our system managing as many aspects of this process as possible, you will find out that you can be more adaptive and agile in your decision making. I've created this chart to give us a high-level view of the plan. As you can see, the data you would expect is accounted for. We have cash receipts, online ordering, and online membership renewals, things like this. The system can take all this information and it can incorporate it into the database and generate an on-the-fly report for management that includes payroll, rent, and all other foreseeable overhead. This report can be over any time frame, region, or individual storefront based on the query that the manager makes at the time. Now, this is all going to be new for you guys, but it is functionality that you would expect from a system like this. You might have already noticed something here that you didn't expect, though. With our system, we can track purchases of merchandise from our stores on a minute-to-minute basis. We can use this information to generate daily recommended purchase orders, formatted in the varying specifications of your vendors. You would then review and approve these orders, make your purchases, and then our system will also accept electronic invoices from those vendors, which would then help generate the financial reporting and recommended purchase orders and so on and so forth. Most of this beforehand was handled with simple spreadsheets and monthly reports from Bumblebee, so we believe that these improvements will bring you into direct competition with the most current fitness centers on the market. Now I'm going to mention some other features without going into too much depth, just in the interest of time here. We do offer automated PERT and CPM charts to help track complicated projects like opening up a new location. Our software can also generate legal and compliance documents for insurance companies and any kind of government entities you need to deal with to help cut down on compliance errors and unsubmitted paperwork. We also offer built-in meeting space and message board. Some companies like to use external software to handle this. We think that incorporating it into our software alongside of all of our reporting and stuff that we can just bring up at the time of the meeting makes a lot of sense for businesses like yours that are decentralized and spread out over multiple locations. We do also offer direct SQL database access. We recommend this for companies that might have a more strong technical staff than yours because mistakes can be made like that. Speaking of mistakes, we do offer 24/7 technical support. This also includes database backup of all the financial and customer database information you have, just in case. That's pretty much all we have today for the manager side of it. Now let's move on.
During our interviews with the center management, it was pointed out that they would like more analytical data for spotting trends and promotions that they can offer through their center. They want to know what services are being used, what times their center has people coming in. They want specific profitability information about specific business activities, which classes are being utilized by members, which classes are not. They want the ability to offer center members computerized activity reports and wellness logs. They want fitness coaching for their senior members. They would like social networking options, email. They want fitness blogs, and they would like social media posts, Facebook, be able to interact with their members through Twitter. During our interviews with the staff, they mentioned that they would like easier access to the information regarding the part-time instructors and trainers. When they get asked about what time a specific class is being offered or if there has been a change in the schedule. And there was many suggestions about scannable member ID cards to capture this information. Our new web-based software offers exactly that solution. There will be a staff module for trainers to provide updates to their classes if they need to change a class time, if they're not going to be available for a certain day. There will be a new website. Members will be able to access their activity because when they walk into the center, they will use their ID card to scan. That will let them know that they have entered the system. It gives management the times when members are utilizing the centers. It will be tracked to their account for when they make purchases through the snack bar. That provides 24-hour access to real-time information for the management and for the staff. How the new scan cards will work is the member walks into the facility and they will scan their card at the card scanner that will be attached to either the front door for after hours visits or at the front desk. If they want to make a purchase from the snack bar, they can also use their card to charge, which replaces the existing signing of charges. This will in turn record the information for the managers. They'll be able to see when the members are coming in, what classes they are using, and what purchases they are making. The staff will be able to access the training schedules, the class schedules, and the updated availability that is provided by the trainers and instructors from the staff app.
Now I'd like to talk a little bit about the backup server. I'm going to go over the security server just briefly, real quick. So on that server, which we just talked about, there's going to be the streaming data of 1080p security cameras. All that's going to be logged for at least 6 months. There's also going to be the door latch data and the swipe card data, which is on the same card, but the door latch data, it's just who's coming in at what time, what their name is, all that stuff. And the swipe card data, it's the same card as the door latch, but we're going to be able to use that for things like in-store purchases and all that kind of stuff. Also, we're going to keep a log of the computer cafe traffic and the Wi-Fi traffic, and it will be heavily known and posted that any information that goes through our network, such as the computer cafe or our provided Wi-Fi, is not going to be private. And we need to do this so we can prevent illegal and illicit activities going on or harassment issues, or you're dealing, like I said, you're dealing with the general public, so pick one. If they want to do any of that kind of stuff, they can log on their own network, or it's not worth the risk and liability here. So all that security data is going to go in the security data server, and it's going to be routed to the backup server. Now, we're also going to have a backup of the accounting server, and this is going to be backed up daily. We're going to have things in there like customer data, vendor data, employee data. It's all extremely sensitive information, and it's all going to be on its own private VPN before it gets backed up to the backup server. And whether that particular part of the backup server is going to have its own VPN and firewall and DMZ and all that kind of stuff too, that's still yet to be determined. So, moving on. I'd like to touch on a CPM chart that we developed here. Now, there's obviously a lot of information here, and we are on a time constraint, so I'm not going to be able to go over all of it, but I'll just touch on everything as best as I can without getting into too much detail. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to meet with the management and discuss our plan, which is what we're doing today. Next, and we'll get into this at the end of the slides, we need to price the hardware and conduct some interviews for the IT staff. I think it's good to hire about 4 people for all this. That seems like a pretty good number. And then after we conduct the interviews, I'd like to order some hardware and order the software licenses. And we need to go and get a logical and physical topology site survey. And after we do that, we need to hire some outsourced IT staff. And what this IT staff is going to be responsible for is that this is going to be the team on the ground that is going to be doing things like installing the latches, installing the cameras, installing the servers, inputting all the data, testing everything, because these are professionals and this is just what they do. So after we hire these guys, we're going to install the security cameras, and we're going to install the door locks. It's going to take a few days. And then they're going to install 3 rack servers, one for security, one for accounting, and one for backup. The next thing that they're going to be responsible for is installing the accounting and the point of sale services, which is QuickBooks. And we're going to set that up for a sandbox test. And what a sandbox test is, it's a contained environment that we can deploy systems on and make sure everything is running, so we don't deploy it to all of our 14 locations and just botch the whole thing and run our accounting services into the ground for a few days while we're scrambling to pick up the pieces. So next, what we're going to do is we're going to input the data on the point of sale in the accounting system, which is QuickBooks, as I mentioned, and that's the day we're going to do the sandbox test. You just make sure everything is running and it's okay, and that's going to take about 2 days. After this, after everything's verified and it works, we're gonna deploy QuickBooks company-wide. Then we're going to connect the new systems to the servers, and then we're going to test and deploy the accounting and the security servers. And once these are up and running, we're going to go ahead and install and deploy the backup server, to where the security servers and the accounting servers are going to be backed up to the backup server every day, and these are all going to be on their own VPN, because this is all very sensitive information. And they're all going. And one thing I failed to mention is that all these servers are going to have UPSs installed on them. It's called a universal power supply. So if there's any problems with the power to your building, you're going to have blackouts, brownouts, anything like that that's going to interrupt it. The universal power supply is going to kick on, and it's going to keep those servers up and running. The last thing I'd like to talk about today is the total cost of ownership. We're looking at about $400,000 to deploy this system. The actual accurate number is $373,000, but things happen. We would like to give a little bit of a margin of error. One of the most expensive parts about this is the 5-year maintenance contract. That's $250,000. That is going to come at about $50,000 a year. That's like hiring your own full-time tech employee, but we will be doing that service for you with all of our resources at our disposal. And the second most expensive one is going to be the integrated mobile app, and that's going to run about $65,000. And we're still in talks and in contact with a different company about getting that ready for you. The other one is